How to sell even if you're an introvert. Hey, this is Donnie Bovine, the CEO and founder of Success Champions Networking and author of Endless Stream Referrals. And this is Growth Mode, a show that is dedicated towards salespeople and business owners, helping them learn to sell, grow their business, and just go big as hell. Hanging out with me, as always, is Kevin Snow, a sales and automation tactician and genius. And hang around, guys, as we dive into how to sell if you're an introvert. All right, dude. This is going to be totally your episode. So I'm going to sit back and literally lob grenades and questions at you, but this is your game. And I will say, guys, if you don't know, Kevin is a damn good sales guy. He is introverted as hell, but he's learned a lot of tactics and tricks and a lot of things to help him be able to put himself out there and have some great sales, interactions, conversations, and getting some deals done. So let's start off from the beginning, Kevin. How do you find the energy to, in a sense, pull yourself off the wall and go sell to people?
Well, there's this huge idea that introverts hate interacting with people. And that's not actually the truth. We like people for the most part, and we can interact with them. We can and we can socialize with them just fine. It's just that after an extended period of time, we're like, oh, just everyone, I need some time alone and I need to recharge. Whereas people like you get all their energy from being in a big crowd and being the center of attention and having all that interaction. So it's people we can do. It's just how we recharge. Now, there are some extremely important personality traits that we have that we need to control and other ones that we need to really leverage to be able to sell effectively. And the first one that we need to control in the sales arena is the fact that we know everything about our product. Because we are so into detail and we want to know why and how, and we ask all those hard questions. So, because we want to know, because that's how we work. We also feel our clients want to know, so we like to just throw up on them. And this is really comes across, especially in the tech fields, where you'll see a lot of introverts like us selling, and we'll get in front of the CEO who really doesn't care about features and technical jargon and capabilities, and we'll give him all of that. But once we're in front of the IT guy that we're also parallel selling to, we can have that deep dive features conversation, and we're all both going to have fun.
Well, and just from an extroverted standpoint, when the introvert wants to freaking give all that knowledge
yep.
and they want to overload, dude, we tune the fuck out. Because we just don't care, because if we ask for the knowledge, give it to us, but try and give it to us in bullet points.
Yes.
Don't take us through long drawn out.
And it's not so much when we're working with the CEOs who are going to tend to be your high Ds, your high Is, or some combination of that. It's not even the features that are important to you. It's the impact. So we need to be able to have those conversations. So controlling our desire to share everything we know is really important. But then the personality trait that we need to amplify and utilize more of is the fact that we like to question, and we're good listeners. And that is really powerful when you're in a solution selling situation. Not as important when you're in transactional sales, but if you're solution selling and you're coming into a client, especially a B2B client, you're trying to fix something, being able to ask those questions and analyze what they're saying so you can come up with a really great next question that gets you that little piece of information that helps you build that solution that you can now talk about, hey, here's how we help you. Here's what the long-term effects are going to be, and here's why you need to go with us to do it. Those are the pros and cons of our personality. We can do that solution selling really well because we'll listen and ask questions. We won't, the high Ds are really excited. They want to get in and sell, and they want to kill That's I got to get the deal. I got to get the kill. I need to come back with the signed paperwork today. And we're fine having a little longer sales cycle because we can ask more questions and we'll build that tighter relationship fast, over time.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a lot of people understand that you traditionally sell how you buy. So if you're a person who likes to sit and think and go through a process before you make a decision, you'll tend to sell that way. If you're more like me and you're like an impulse buyer and buy things just immediately and on a whim, then you expect others to do the same. So whether you're extrovert or introvert, you really have to pay attention to the person you're talking to make sure that you're selling them how they want to be sold to, and you're not pushing them so far out of their comfort zone that you lose them.
Yeah, that's really key. My first car, and I've never even told you this story, Donnie, but the first car I bought out of college, brand new car, had a really good sales job, making good money. I went in and I bought it the same day I went in and looked at it. Not a high C thing.
No.
No. And I had the worst buyer's remorse. There was no issue with money. It was like, I knew I could make the payments, but I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? And it took me a couple days to work through that. And that is why it's really important to understand how your buyer buys. Because if you're a high D and you're selling to a person like me and you push us and make us sign a deal that day, there's a high chance that we're going to use that 3-day window to get out of the deal. And we're going to tear it up and tell you, nope. And now you have to go back and resell us. And we have a bad taste in our mouth about you. And it's going to be even harder to get us to close. So it's, because we listen and we analyze and we are trying to be, we're more strategic in our thinking a lot of times. We're trying to figure out what that person does. And the smart introverts that are selling will have learned how to morph their personality a bit so that they can match how the other person is talking and how they're acting.
Yeah. And I think if the introvert understands that they have to step a little bit more into the boldness of a conversation, but they don't have to be a high-spirited I or a high-spirited D. They just got to take a little bit more risk in the conversation to get to a ending point. Because introverts will tend to try and draw out a conversation, and they're the worst when somebody says, "Hey, I'm really ready to buy," and they're like, "But I'm not done with my presentation yet.
I have more stuff to tell you about. Well, there's this and there's these things. You need to know about these things." Yep, totally us. Yeah,
so
when they say yes, shut up.
Yes, and get the deal done. So we've talked a lot about, the sales, and they can do it. Let's talk a little bit about, at networking events, or they're at trade shows and they're at functions. Because once again, people have the belief that introverted people can't go up and have conversations with people, and they can. Like you said before, it just requires more energy. So let's say I'm at an after hours event. I'm an introverted person. How do I work that room and stay in the game?
So the first thing I always do as a introverted individual is I circle the room. I'll make the walk to the bar so I can get, right down the middle of the room, see who's there. I, usually will circle the outside of the room. It's really like, it's like a pack animal hunting. You walk around and you're checking out the herd and seeing which one you're going to attack first. And when I'm doing it, I'm looking at how people are engaging with each other. I'm not necessarily, sometimes depending on the mood I'm in, I might be looking for someone I know so I can, have that easy first conversations. But most of the time I'm looking at how people are standing. Are they standing close to close and face to face? Are they standing in a little bit more open position? Because that all signals different things on who's ready to talk and who's looking to talk and who's going to be easy to start a conversation with. It's going to be really hard for most introverts to go up to a group of people that are all huddled together talking that has that I in the middle that's getting all the attention, because it's going to be hard for us to interject. But if we go up to a group of two people that are, not directly face to face, but they're a little bit open, that those are people that are looking to have someone come talk to them. They probably came together or they knew each other already. So they don't really necessarily want to network with each other, but they're not ready to go out and find their own people to talk to. So I always find the easy ones to talk to and then start questions. The conversation's always about them for me.
Right. Yeah. And I think for me, what I've always told them is take a wingman. Like if you're not strong at meeting new people, that requires a lot more energy for you to get off the wall. You just haven't learned that skill like Kevin has. Then take a wingman along, wing woman along. I don't give a shit what you want to call it, and literally take somebody who has a better ability and use them to get into doors, but don't stay together. I've taken introverts networking before, and I'm like, okay, when we get in this room, you go left, I'll go right. And if you get into a spot where you find yourself standing alone, flag me the fuck down or come find me and I'll put you into another conversation. It'll make it a lot easier to get into the right and the better conversations.
And having that wing person with you, there's some other advantages too. You can set up, all right, so in an hour, let's get together at the bar, have a drink, and let's talk about who we met and who each of us needs to introduce each other to. Because you can actually now work the room. You can get twice as many contacts with half the effort if you have that debrief at some point. So now you can start that intermixing, because you can go back to that person. Hey, I have someone I need to introduce you to. This is Donnie, or Donnie. Hey, you need to meet this Kevin guy because he's amazing and he's smart. And it's right. Now you can have twice as many conversations with less effort.
Well, and I want to put in there that as an introvert, you need to watch the body language of the person you're talking to, and be ready to realize when they're done with the conversation. Because introverts sometimes had a tendency to hang on to the conversation for too long, because this became a safe place for them. They met their person in a conversation. They're networking. They want to hold on to it.
They're nice to me.
Start looking. Yeah. You need to watch for those body cues and those languages. Like if you can tell somebody's trying to walk away, cool, let that go. Let them walk away. Don't hold on to that like a life vest saying, oh my God, if this person leaves, I'm alone again. And I'm not picking on you guys when I say that. What I'm saying is watch for the cues and the indicators that they're done with the conversation. Things you'll see is they'll get more closed off, or they'll stop paying attention to the conversation, start looking around the room. They may start walking towards a bar, but let them go once they get to a point of they're done with the conversation.
And there are certain, when you're looking for these traits and these cues, there are certain personality types who will naturally be looking around the room all the time anyway. Yep. And they might be interested in the conversation, but your high eyes on the disc scale, they are always looking for their next conversation and who they know and who they can go socialize with. Even if they're interested in having the best time, they're still going to be looking over your shoulder.
100%. So I think the biggest thing, guys, is with this episode, if you're an introvert, understand it. You can sell. Some of the best introverts and I know in the world are some of the best salespeople in the world. Stay in a process, stay in a moment of through how you communicate, and just realize that you only have to have courage in a moment. You're going to be able to get out of there, recharge, relax, and do what you need to do. But go have some real conversations, watch the cues of others, and bottom line, sell to people how they want to buy, not how you want to buy. And as always, guys, if you got any value out of this episode, do us a favor, make sure you're subscribed. If you're on YouTube, click the bell to get updated when we have new episodes come out. And if you're listening on podcast, subscribe or follow. And please tell one person about this show. We love that you guys hang out and listen to us. So love you, mean it. See you, bye.